Welcome to another premium episode of Monday Movie Pickup. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time. I am just going to get right into it. I have the Candyman sequels. This is Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, which was released by Shout Factory. And then I have the Vestron video release of Candyman Day of the Dead. I've been trying to look for some more of these Vestron series releases. They don't seem to be going out of print too quickly, so I thought I should snag them up now, especially since there's not too many releases, and I find them to be interesting. They do a lot of obscure horror sequels. I'm doing the original Candyman as a request from Patreon, so that'll be on my YouTube channel very soon, and then I have these sequels as well, just because I figured if I'm going to watch the original, I'd like to see the sequels, and eventually the newer film that I didn't get to chance to watch in theaters, but is also, from what I understand, a sequel to the original film. So I think these films are completely ignored by the new movie, but still it's interesting that, Candyman, like many other horror movies, had multitudes of sequels. I have here some, it's not David Cronenberg films exactly. There's one. It's Shivers, Vestron video release. I'm not too into Cronenberg, but one of my friends is. He's been watching quite a few of his movies. He almost has seen every Cronenberg movie now. We just saw Crimes of the Future in theaters, which was... It was good. I didn't love it, but, I've never been a huge Cronenberg fan, but I figured I should probably go into more Cronenberg movies and some of the stuff I haven't seen. So I've never seen Shivers. It's a Vestron video release, like I said before. I'm trying to get them, so I figured I'd give that a purchase. But the Scanners release I skipped on for now because it was a little more pricey for what I was looking for, but that's also a Vestron video release. But I did get the sequels. So this is a Scream Factory double feature, and I believe there are actually 2 discs with it, so that is very cool. And yeah, these were not done by Cronenberg. I'm not sure what Cronenberg thinks of these sequels, but like I said with Candyman, it seems like every single horror movie has had sequels, and this is no exception. I don't know what my friend thinks of Scanners. I know he watched it, but maybe we'll have to get him to watch those sequels at some point. I have here Bloodsport and Time Cop. So really, the reason I bought this was for Bloodsport. I believe it's only available on Blu-ray on this double feature, at least in the United States. And I've never seen it. Jean-Claude Van Damme was nothing I really knew about. He was not really around by the time I was growing up as a kid. He wasn't really a known action star, but there's a lot of people who are slightly older than me who know Jean-Claude Van Damme, and they said, have you seen Bloodsport? At least see Bloodsport. So heard a lot about it. Unfortunately, this release actually has both movies on one disc, which I didn't know, but it's fine. I just, I'm shocked though, because usually a lot of these double feature sets that Warner Brothers does often has the films on 2 separate discs, so this is one of the few times I've seen it combined. I don't know what that will mean for the quality of the film as far as the transfer goes, but, Bloodsport, I have to see it. This is No Time to Die. This is the 3-disc edition. So very cool that they actually gave a whole separate Blu-ray for special features. I enjoyed No Time to Die. It wasn't my favorite of the Daniel Craig films. Honestly, I think Skyfall's like my favorite James Bond movie. And Casino Royale is up there as well. But this is probably, the third of my favorites. And it's one that I like. I will return to this one in the future. I like what they did with the character. I like how they wrap things up. And, it's time to see a new Bond, but I'm glad that Daniel Craig actually had a proper send-off rather than, the last movie's really bad and then they recast. That often happens with a lot of the previous actors. And this was actually bought at Target because for some reason they were getting rid of a lot of their Blu-rays and 4Ks for way cheaper than they should. I know that they're probably just getting rid of their stocks because now their Blu-ray shelf, Target only has one shelf now. Best Buy is the same way. I've seen a lot of Instagram pages also showing that Best Buy seems to be getting rid of their Blu-ray shelf entirely. Target's no exception, but it's a weird case where actually some of the 4Ks were going cheaper than the regular Blu-rays. I'll show you why. So I have here, this is West Side Story. Now, this is the 4K edition. I don't normally get 4K. I've gone over that in the show before. And I don't really get the Target editions unless there are like exclusive special features, like with the Batman release. I just realized that's in this stack. I haven't actually shown that on the show yet. But yeah, West Side Story doesn't have anything really exclusive with it, but this release was actually cheaper than the regular Blu-ray, so that kind of surprised me. By the way, I loved West Side Story. It was one of my top 10 favorite movies this year, or in 2021 anyway. And Spielberg. I have all the Spielberg films, so I have to get it. I will also move on to Turning Red, which is, I own every single Pixar release. Luckily, this came with an extra disc. There's been a few Pixar movies where they don't have 2 discs, but historically, Pixar has usually had 2 disc releases for their Blu-rays. I didn't love Turning Red, but I thought it was okay. But the same case with West Side Story. This was cheaper than the regular Blu-ray, so I think they're just trying to get rid of these Target editions, even though these are 4K releases. But again, there's nothing, there's no exclusive special features with this, so there's really no reason to get the Target edition. I have a couple Oscar winners. Here is A Man for All Seasons. I actually saw this movie in a political science class. King Henry wants to get approval from this guy who works for the Catholic Chancellor to get permission. The king wants permission to divorce his wife and marry someone else. This was during a time where obviously that wasn't allowed. And this guy is basically forced into this situation where he doesn't want to work with the corrupt king, and he's thrown into court, and he pretty much stands by what he believes to be true. And it's still an interesting film and highly relevant. So that is kind of why we watched it in that class. I also have here Oliver, which is the musical that won Best Picture. Both of these releases, by the way, came from Colombia. They had only releases that were from different countries. They were region free, but Colombia finally released both of these films in the last couple years. Unfortunately, the Blu-rays themselves are a bit pricier. They haven't gone down in price, and since I think they're only available online, I doubt they'll go down in price anytime soon. But, if it's of all those Best Picture winners, I've gotten a lot of them for slightly, pretty cheap, but some of them are slightly expensive, and these are kind of on that boat. But it was about time I finally got them. I'm actually almost done getting all the Best Picture winners. I think I only have 4 to go. So of course I do have here The Batman, which unfortunately this sticker, I cannot remove it. I don't know what it is, but I thought for a while Target was releasing Blu-rays where you could take the stickers off pretty easily, but this one was awful. It actually comes with an additional Blu-ray disc. Now, there's only one special feature on it, but the fact is, I can't believe that they're even doing additional discs anymore. I think the last time they did it was for a Star Wars movie. I think The Last Jedi had an extra disc, and I can't think of one that's done it since then for Target. So, pretty cool. I was pretty happy to see that they had that. I wasn't even going to get this the day of, but because of that extra disc, I decided to. And I did a review of the Batman. I'm actually wearing a Batman t-shirt right now. So I loved the movie. It's, I think, my second favorite film this year, right behind Everything Everywhere All at Once. And, definitely excited to see where DC kind of goes after doing a film like this. I have The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. So this is the newest release from the Paramount Presents line. And this is a 4K release, which they hadn't done yet. I believe they re-released Almost Famous as a 4K release, but not as a Paramount Presents release for some reason. But yeah, this one, which is the 31st release from the Paramount Presents line, is only available as a 4K disc. So it's cool that they are starting to delve into 4K now. I don't know what it was specifically about this one versus the other ones that they decided to finally do 4K, but regardless, classic film. It's finally on Blu-ray. Finally on 4K. Very cool. I've talked about the Paramount Presents line way too much. Licorice Pizza, which I believe was my second favorite film of 2021, right behind Bo Burnham's Inside. But this movie I thought was great. I thought it was hilarious. Had a really good time with it. And, I didn't think there was actually anything special about this release, but it actually came with a poster, which I don't know why I need a poster exactly. And I thought this was only available at certain stores, but no, if you buy this anywhere, probably for a while, you'll get the poster, which, just a little poster there. Yay, it's all folded up. Very cool. No, this is pointless. I don't need a poster. But I love this movie. To me, it was kind of the spiritual successor to something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm getting back into the Breaking Bad universe, and then we have here El Camino, which... Love that movie. I did have a review of this on YouTube, and I thought it was very entertaining. I don't know what people beyond the fans would think of this. My parents actually watched this movie after I did a review of it, and they had a ton of questions because they didn't understand a lot of what was going on because they never watched Breaking Bad. So I don't know if this is really for Breaking Bad fans. And this is actually a limited edition steelbook. So this is an import, but I didn't get it originally because I completely forgot about it, which was my fault. I was going to get El Camino on Blu-ray when I heard about it, but completely forgot about it, so I made sure to finally buy it before it went too high in price because, like I said, it's a limited edition. The US version isn't even available anymore, but luckily I got this for a little bit of a good price, you know, still pricier than I was hoping, but regardless, I have it in my collection now. The only weird thing about it is that they don't have El Camino on the side, which is kind of bothersome if I put it up. I mean, I guess I don't have too many steelbooks, so I can assume if I go to the E section, I'll know which movie it is. But this is cool too because there are special features. There's a commentary on here, so I'm excited to give that commentary a listen. I'm going to watch the movie now that I kind of finished up Breaking Bad, and then to prepare myself for the final season, Better Call Saul, which continues in July, which, you know, that show, I mean, to me, I think Better Call Saul is even better than Breaking Bad. And last but not least, I have Josie and the Pussycats, which is going to be a review on Patreon. I don't know much about this other than the fact that this is kind of sprung from the Archie comics. So I never read Archie comics. I never watched any of the shows. So have no idea what to expect with this. But look at that cast. Rachel Leigh Cook, Tara Reid, and Rosario Dawson. Like, what a time capsule. Definitely interested to see what I'm going to get with this. Hopefully it's not like Glitter, where it's actually like, it's of its era, but it's very, very bad. But that's everything for this week. Sorry it's been so long. I will see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for supporting me on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive blogs and videos, and for just $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.